Hey everyone, my name is Deb Perry and I am a U.S. Air Force vet. So they asked us to say a few things about what the Veterans Writing Group at William & Mary means to us. And honestly, I could go on for quite a while doing that, but I'll just say this. Lately, I've been running into one of my writing group peers at Fresh Market on Tuesdays, which, in case you're wondering, that's their chicken special day. If I hadn't previously met him in the writing group, he would, like most people, see me as a mother of 2 young boys, simply taking advantage of a great sale, and we would likely have no interactions whatsoever, which, of course, is normal and fine, because that is who I am right now. It's the chapter of life in which I am living. But when I walk into the room for a writing session at William & Mary, I know that I already have things in common with everyone in the room. Not only do we share the military experience, but we all share a great love of writing. It's a chance to look back on chapters past and also to share our attempts at the written word, and it feels really good to have that. But I think most of all, it's a truly humbling experience. You really haven't lived until you shared a table with a World War II vet who's sharing with you his firsthand accounts. It's like witnessing the writing of American history. And that is what the William & Mary Veterans Writing Group means to me. So for tonight, I have prepared a really abbreviated version of a larger piece that I'm working on. It's not military related, but it is what's on my heart right now. And I've sort of made it into a bit of a personal account. And it's called On a Tuesday Afternoon. On a Tuesday afternoon in the early spring, after the grocery shopping was done and the kids were down for naps, I got the call. The call that turned maybe one day into there's no turning back now. I'm going to the Travel Lodge. I'll be there in a bit. I can't wait to meet you and your family, she said. I'm glad I found a place that they'll let me park my truck. I'll see y'all soon. When I hung up the phone, I literally paced the floors. I wiped the counters, washed the dishes, and let the dog out. I texted my husband, okay, so she's in Richmond now, to which I received an auto reply. I'm driving. Call me, I wrote back. Frustrated and anxious, I put the phone down but checked it 3 more times just for good measure. I retrieved the kids from their rooms and forced a cool front as I prepared their afternoon snack. I remember that this is how it all played out because the entire series of events from that afternoon has been filed away in my mind for safekeeping. I suppose I will always carry that with me. I spent most of the drive to the hotel avoiding my own thoughts and instead entertaining conversation with the kids. Who are we going to see? Miss Kathy? Oh, who is she? And are we having dinner at a restaurant tonight? They wanted to know. But at one point, my husband caught me staring out the window and he hit me with it. How are you feeling? With a hard right turn and up over a bridge, we were closing in on our destination. I was feeling like a bailout at the next stoplight was my only option. I was feeling like maybe this was all a big mistake. I'm good, I said. But I'm a worst case scenario type of gal sometimes, and my thoughts were nagging. Perhaps the woman that I was going to meet was less enthused about the circumstances than I. Maybe this would have happened 10 years earlier if she had been genuinely inclined to make my acquaintance. When I saw the big green rig looming in the parking lot, it was finally real. I recalled some of the text messages that she had sent me over the years about being out on the road. In Salt Lake now, I'm running 700 miles a day. They keep me busy out here. Maybe one day I'll get out your way and we can meet. And then I'll be rolling by 0600 tomorrow morning heading for Arizona. Maybe one day they'll send me out your way. It all sounded so invented, like something I might read in my next fiction pick. A 50-year-old truck driver, female, just trying to get by in life. Our lives could not have been further removed from one another. But in that moment, in that Travel Lodge parking lot, my reality was that our paths were finally crossing. I checked myself in the mirror one last time, pulled a straight curl out of my face, cracked my pointer knuckles, and finally I got out of the car. I shot one last glance toward my husband, who thoughtfully said, I'll give you a minute alone. Good luck. Sure, thanks, I replied with a quick nod, and I set off. With room number 110 in my sights, I was suddenly in one of those time warps when the briefest stint in time seems to go on forever, during which I contemplated the outside appearance of the motel, a dull brick building with burnt orange doors, the lackluster of which somehow took away from the experience as a whole. The door to her room stood wide open, and I could hear the TV across the threshold. I wanted to look back to the car for a bit of comfort, but I might have buckled. I might have lost my composure and fled. I might have missed my big chance. And so I stepped into the doorway, purposely squared off my shoulders, and I gave a quick tap. "Well, hi there," she chirped, still seated on the edge of the bed, staring at me with her legs crossed and her back straight, which struck me as a bit odd. Perhaps I expected a running tackle, or at the very least for her to have greeted me at the door. "I'm Kathy," she added for formality's sake. I stepped further into the room, and she stood, smiling, obviously contemplating her next move. My awkwardness preceded me and shut down any expectations of a hug, for which I was thankful. "Hi, Kathy. I'm Deb." It was then that I recognized the gravity, the relevance of the moment, and my words simply escaped me, and my eyes became fixed on her. And I studied every single facet of her existence there in front of me. "I've waited 30 years for this day," she said. "I've always prayed that God would bring me back into your life one day." And that is how it came to be that maybe one day turned into the Tuesday afternoon that I met my biological mother. Thank you.